There comes a moment in life when everything looks the same on the outside, but something inside you quietly changes. You can't explain it to people, and honestly, you stop trying. It feels like a silent shift, as if your soul has stepped into a new dimension while your physical life is still catching up. You start noticing things differently. The struggles that once broke you now feel like they're shaping you. The people who used to define your worth suddenly feel irrelevant. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. A deeper understanding that your life is being rewritten in ways you cannot yet see. Many chosen ones go through this phase and think they are losing direction. But in reality, they are being redirected. Just like a river being guided toward a stronger current, your life is being silently aligned with something greater than your current understanding. And here's the truth most people miss. Confusion is often the birthplace of divine funding. When nothing makes sense, it may be because something greater is being arranged behind the scenes. If you've ever felt this strange inner shift, comment below. I feel the shift. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Mirror of the Soul so you don't miss what comes next in your awakening journey. Worry is one of the most subtle forms of resistance. It feels harmless at first, like you're just thinking ahead. But spiritually, it creates distance between you and what is already aligned for you. Chosen one, what is meant for you is not searching for you. You are simply learning to arrive at it. But worry creates noise. And in noise, clarity cannot survive. That's why your breakthroughs often feel delayed when your mind is overactive. Think about it. How many times have you stressed about something that eventually worked out without your control? That's not coincidence. That's life showing you that control was never yours in the first place. There is a deeper intelligence organizing your path, even when your emotions disagree. The more you trust, the more you allow things to unfold naturally. The more you worry, the more you resist what is already being prepared. When people hear God is funding your life, they immediately think about money, success, or sudden opportunities. But divine funding rarely begins with external wealth. It begins with internal alignment. You start losing interest in things that don't serve your purpose anymore. You may lose friendships, habits, or even opportunities that once seemed important. At first, it feels like loss, but spiritually, it is redirection. Because before abundance arrives, misalignment must leave. Imagine trying to pour clean water into a glass that is already filled with dirty water. It has to be emptied first. That emptiness you feel is not punishment, it is preparation. Many chosen ones misunderstand this phase and think they are being abandoned. But abandonment is loud. Alignment is quiet. One brings panic, the other brings peace, even in uncertainty. There are moments in life when you feel completely alone, like no one sees your struggle and no one understands your silent battles. But what you don't realize, chosen one, is that some of the most important support in your life is not visible to the human eye. You may not see doors opening yet, but unseen forces are already adjusting paths, aligning people, and removing obstacles before you even reach them. What looks like delay is often divine protection working in silence. Think of all the times you almost fell into something that would have harmed your growth. The job you didn't get, the relationship that ended, the opportunity that disappeared. At the time it hurt, but later it made sense. This is how divine funding works. It protects before it provides. It removes before it replaces. It clears before it builds. And most importantly, it operates even when your faith feels weak. One of the hardest lessons for any chosen one is accepting delay. When nothing is happening fast enough, the mind starts questioning everything, your worth, your purpose, even your direction in life. But delay is not denial. Delay is preparation wearing a disguise. What you call waiting is often life-aligning conditions, people, and timing so that when your moment arrives, it doesn't just happen, it lasts. If everything came too early, you would not have the strength to sustain it. Imagine receiving success without maturity or opportunity without emotional grounding. It would collapse under pressure. There is a deeper intelligence that understands not just what you want, but what you can handle. And sometimes, what you can handle must grow before what you want arrives. There is a strange phase in every chosen one's journey where life begins to remove people. Conversations fade, relationships shift, and suddenly, you find yourself spending more time alone than ever before. At first, it feels like rejection, but later, you begin to understand it was preparation. Isolation is not punishment, it is refinement. It is where your identity is stripped of external validation so your inner strength can be built. In solitude, distractions disappear. You start hearing your own thoughts more clearly. You begin to question old beliefs, old habits, and even old versions of yourself that no longer fit who you are becoming. Many breakthroughs are born in isolation. History is full of people who discovered their purpose not in crowds, but in silence, because silence forces truth to rise to the surface. Pressure is one of the most misunderstood parts of the chosen one's journey. When life feels heavy, when responsibilities increase, and when everything demands more from you than you feel ready for, it can feel overwhelming. But pressure is not designed to destroy you. It is designed to develop you. Just like diamonds are formed under extreme pressure, your strength is shaped in moments that feel unbearable. Without pressure, there is no expansion. Without challenge, there is no growth. And without discomfort, there is no transformation. Everything powerful in life is forged through tension. You may feel like life is pushing you beyond your limits, but in reality, it is revealing limits you didn't know you could surpass. Every breakdown carries hidden instruction for your breakthrough. One of the most painful experiences is losing stability, whether it's financial security, relationships, or emotional grounding. It feels like the ground is constantly shifting beneath your feet. But chosen one, stability that is not aligned with your purpose is not meant to last. Life removes false stability so that real stability can be built on truth, not illusion. Sometimes what you thought was safe was actually limiting your growth. And what feels like loss is actually liberation from something that was quietly holding you back. You are not being stripped to nothing. You are being stripped of what does not belong to your future. That space is not empty. It is being prepared for something more aligned. So ask yourself, what if every loss I experienced was actually making room for something I have not yet imagined? Reflect on this and engage with Mirror of the Soul by commenting your experience. Financial fear is one of the heaviest emotional burdens a chosen one can carry. It doesn't always show on the outside, but inside it can feel like a constant pressure. Questions about survival, stability, and whether things will ever improve. But here is something most people never realize. Fear around money often appears right before a shift in financial direction. It is not always a sign of lack. It can be a sign that your current cycle is closing. Think of it like a system update. Before improvement arrives, everything feels unstable. Old patterns stop working. Income feels unpredictable. Plans don't flow the way they used to. It feels like things are falling apart, but in reality, they are being rebuilt. Many people panic in this stage and make rushed decisions. But chosen ones are being taught patience here. Because panic leads to repetition of old cycles, while awareness leads to new levels of provision. There are moments when opportunities seem to appear and then suddenly vanish. A job, a connection, a business idea, it feels like it was within reach, and then it slips away without explanation. At first, this feels frustrating, even unfair. But chosen one, not every open door is meant for permanent entry. Some doors are tests, some are timing checks, and some are simply previews of what is coming later in a stronger form. When an opportunity disappears, it is often because the version of you that attracted it is evolving. Life is not just giving you opportunities, it is upgrading the version of you that can handle them. If something leaves your life and returns later, it often returns aligned, expanded, and more stable than before. But you must be patient enough not to chase what is meant to circle back. One of the most isolating feelings in life is being misunderstood. You try to explain what you are going through, but people only see fragments, not the full picture. Chosen ones often go through paths that don't make sense to others. While people expect linear success, your journey may look like breaking, rebuilding, pausing, and redirecting repeatedly. This is why judgment becomes common around you. People see inconsistency, but they don't see transformation. They see confusion, but not the internal evolution happening beneath it. But here is the truth. Not everyone is meant to understand your path. Some people are only meant to witness it from a distance, not interpret it from their limited perspective. Starting over is one of the most emotionally intense experiences in life. It feels like everything you built has collapsed, and you are being asked to begin again from scratch. But chosen one, starting over is not punishment. It is refinement. It is life removing what was built on unstable ground so something stronger can be constructed. Every restart carries hidden wisdom. You do not begin again as the same person. You begin again with experience, awareness, and depth that you didn't have before. Think about it. A foundation cannot be rebuilt while the old structure still stands. Sometimes life clears everything so that what comes next is aligned, not accidental. Emotional heaviness is something many chosen ones carry silently. It doesn't always have a name, but it shows up as fatigue, deep reflection, overthinking, and moments where everything feels too much. But emotional weight is not meaningless. It is shaping your depth. People who go through emotional intensity often develop higher awareness, deeper empathy, and stronger intuition. What feels like breaking inside is often expanding your emotional intelligence. You begin to understand life in layers that others may not notice yet. This depth is what prepares you for responsibility, leadership, and emotional strength in future phases of your life. Nothing you feel is wasted, not even your pain. There is a turning point in every chosen one's journey where something shifts, not externally but internally. You stop fighting everything. You stop resisting every delay. You stop forcing outcomes. And strangely, peace begins to appear, even when life is still uncertain. This peace is not ignorance. It is acceptance. It is the realization that not everything needs your control and not everything is happening against you. When acceptance enters, resistance leaves. And when resistance leaves, clarity begins to grow quietly in the background of your life. So ask yourself, what would change in my life if I stopped resisting what I cannot control? Let this question guide your reflection and connect with Mirror of the Soul in the comments. There comes a stage in your journey when silence doesn't feel empty anymore. It feels alive. Not because the outside world has changed, but because something inside you has started speaking more clearly than ever before. You begin to notice it in small moments. A sudden knowing, a quiet warning, a strong pull toward or away from something without logical explanation. This is your inner voice strengthening, not your imagination getting louder. Chosen ones often go through a phase where external validation starts to fade, and internal guidance becomes sharper. It can feel strange at first, almost uncomfortable, because you are used to looking outside for answers. But this is actually a sign of alignment. When life begins funding your direction, it doesn't always send loud signals, it sends clarity. And clarity often comes as a quiet voice that refuses to be ignored. One of the most emotionally painful parts of transformation is when people start leaving your life. Some leave suddenly, others slowly fade away, and some simply become distant versions of who they once were. At first it feels like rejection. It feels personal. But chosen one, not every departure is a loss. Some are realignments. People leave when they no longer match the frequency of your growth. Sometimes their role in your life was temporary. They were meant to walk with you for a season, not your entire journey. And when your path changes, separation becomes inevitable, not accidental. It is important to understand that not everyone can grow with you. Some people are connected to your old version, not your evolving one. And as you shift, so does your environment. There is a moment in your journey when something about you changes, but you can't fully explain what it is. You still look the same, you still speak the same, but something about your presence feels different. People begin to notice it before you do. Some feel distant without reason. Others become more attentive. Some even feel uncomfortable around your silence or calmness. This is energy alignment. When your inner world shifts, your external energy begins to reflect it. You stop reacting the same way you used to. You stop chasing what you once tolerated. And because of this, your presence starts carrying a new frequency, one that not everyone can easily interpret. Some will be drawn to it, others will step away from it. Patience is one of the most underestimated forces in transformation. It rarely feels powerful while you are in it. In fact, it often feels like nothing is happening at all. But chosen one, patience is never empty time. It is preparation in disguise. While you are waiting, life is arranging outcomes that are too complex for rushing to handle. Then suddenly, without warning, things begin to shift. Opportunities appear. Conversations open. Doors you stop thinking about start unlocking in unexpected ways. And the most surprising part is not just that things change, but that they change in a way you could not have forced or predicted. There is a powerful turning point in every chosen one's journey where something inside you quietly changes. You stop chasing, not out of defeat, but out of understanding. You realize that constant chasing created stress, not stability. You realize that forcing outcomes created exhaustion, not fulfillment. And slowly, you begin to let life unfold instead of trying to control every step. This shift is not laziness. It is awareness. It is the understanding that what is meant for you does not require desperation. It requires alignment. And strangely, when you stop chasing, things begin to move toward you. Opportunities, clarity, and direction begin to appear in ways that feel almost effortless. Chosen one, if you take nothing else from this message, take this. You were never forgotten, not by life, not by timing, not by the universe, not by God. Everything you have experienced, the delays, the losses, the confusion, the isolation, was not a sign of abandonment. It was a process of preparation. You are not behind, you are being built. You are not lost, you are being guided. You are not waiting by accident, you are being positioned. And when your moment arrives, it will not feel like luck. It will feel like alignment. Like everything suddenly makes sense in a way you couldn't see before. So ask yourself one final question. What if everything I thought was stopping me was actually shaping me for something greater than I imagined? If this message reached your heart, comment below. I trust the process. Like this video, subscribe to Mirror of the Soul, and share it with someone who needs to hear this truth today.